Now, this is the latest projected track at 2 p.m. Wednesday. It has it at 150 miles an hour sustained winds. I mean, we haven't seen anything like that since Hazel.
We knew a week out, it's aiming for the east coast of the United States.
Storm itself continues to barrel toward the west-northwest on a collision course with the Carolinas.
It was unlike any other storm because it just wouldn't stop.
And you can just see it is just completely flooded.
Expect devastating conditions in Georgetown County.
But it's coming down, I can tell you that, David.
Our responsibility is to tell them exactly what's happening.
We're their lifeline. We have no choice but to come through.
When a storm comes in overnight, too, it adds just a whole other element.
It was so much rain, it's just like standing in the shower.
Start to see in the distance a white capping. That is not the ocean, that is the Neuse River.
You could see white caps. The rate that it rose was just phenomenal.
The rain is coming from every direction, it seems like.
And then you keep thinking in the back of your mind, where is this water going to go?
In New Bern, as you can see all around me, it is water.
So Mark and I had a plan. Find a spot, then drive back out to make sure you weren't going to get cut off by flooding.
Get safe right now and get out of there when you can.
When we started to make our way back out, it was already flooded over. So we went to another street that was flooded over. Immediately, there was a bit of a panic.
And we found that fourth option that got us out of this neighborhood. But for a little while, we didn't know where we were going to end up that night.
Have the situation that has developed here at the station, and that is that the water getting close to the building, that the building has been evacuated.
As we saw the water rise, it became, how do we get everyone out of the building safely and still try to continue to communicate for as long as we can with our viewers.
And then at 7 o'clock, that's when they made the decision to evacuate the building.
It was time to gather what you could and run.
The first time in history, we were actually forced to evacuate our studio.
Next discussion is, how do you broadcast without a building?
Hi everybody, we're here at the Neuse River Bridge. I'm here with
We went out where we could when it was safe, did our news gathering via cell phone.
We did newscasts from our own parking lot. We did newscasts in the middle of some of the worst damaged areas. We took the show on the road.
WCTI could have just gone off the air. Who would have thought they would have flooded? Everywhere we need information to go out to the public, they're there.
We found a way because we were dedicated to this community, whatever it took.
If you answer those telephone lines, it's amazing the stories that people can tell you.
There's huge amounts of debris, trees, logs floating down the river.
Our goal is to try to disseminate that information as best we can.
And we will go through any kind of effort to keep us on the air.
And a lady called and says, you know, my house is flooding. And I said, what's your name? What's your phone number? What's your specific address? We're on the way.
He was the voice of reason for this community. People heard Don on the radio and I think felt like, well, everything's going to be okay.
So being able to be part of that conduit, someone needs help, a little radio station can help someone.
To stay off the water, stay informed, and secure your belongings. For those people who are not on the air, it's tough being on the air hour after hour after hour.
Being a first informer is the most important part of this job.
When a disaster hits, you view your audience like your family.
It's our community. These are our people. These are our families. This is where we live. It's our responsibility, and it's something we take very seriously.
They turn to us because they trust us to give them every piece of information that they need.
And hopefully, help people stay alive and help them get through a very, very tough time.
We were able to fulfill our obligation as broadcasters.
The thank you for letting us know that this area was in this condition. Thank you for letting us know to get out of our house in advance. It just feels so great to know that you made a difference in the lives of the people here in North Carolina.
It's one of those moments when you really dig down deep and realize this job is much bigger than me.